There's one story that I really love from that church, St. John Lateran, and I really learned about it during the writing of one of my scripts for one of my performances. And it happened in the year 1209. The Pope was Pope Innocent III. And this one man with his friends, who was a beggar, goes into the church, St. John Lateran. Remember, the home of the Pope, it's where the Pope was. And he was hoping to see the Pope, to meet the Pope, to talk to the Pope. And when he went into this great, grand, beautiful church, St. John Lateran, he saw the Pope and let it be known that he would like to speak to the Pope. But the Pope looked at him and said, "No, you're a beggar. You don't belong in here. You have to leave." And he was escorted out. And so he and his friends were disappointed because they were hoping to talk to the Pope. It didn't happen. They were escorted out. And so they were planning to leave Rome the next day and go home. But the next morning, a friend came to these men who were preparing to leave and go back home and said, "The Pope wants to see you." So they were happy, they were surprised, and they went back to St. John Lateran. And as they walked in, Pope Innocent III came over to them. And he said to this young man, he says, "Yesterday I was rude to you and I told you to leave. I kicked you out." He says, "But last night I had a dream, I had a vision. And in my vision, I saw that you were holding up the church. I envisioned it was a beggar holding up the entire church. And so, and I knew that that beggar was you. I could see the face. And so this morning I said, you have to bring him back. And so you are brought back here because you are that beggar. You are the one who is going to hold up the church. I need you." And that young man, that beggar, we know him as Francis of Assisi. And it was on that day that the Pope gave Francis of Assisi and his friends the permission to preach, the permission to gather people around what eventually became his order. The order, as it was originally and still officially named, Friars Minor, the friars, the brothers with nothing. And that's what their name. It became known as the Franciscans, but it was originally the Friars with Nothing was the name.